Good day, viewers. I am Rachel Nideclaita and I am tasked to report about Harvard style referencing. Um, okay, Harvard referencing style. The information that I use in sharing to you this report is from the uh, adapted from the Harvard Referencing Guide published by the University of Sheffield. What is Harvard referencing style? Harvard referencing style is an author the date method. Sources are cited within the body of your assignment by giving the name of the authors followed by the date of the publication. All other details about the publication are given in the list of references or bibliography at the end. Yes, kasi everything that you have cited it must be referenced again at the end of your paper. All the citations that you use, it has to be included in the list. Harvard referencing style is quite similar to the APA style or the American Psychological Association. So, yung method ng APA is also an author-date method. Pero may mga differences din sila. And let's find it out later. For example, this is an example of Harvard referencing style. Example given, Smith, 2017, uh, page 42. So this, uh, the authors in the data publication is inside of the parentheses kasi it's not included in the paragraph. But Smith 2017, page 42, and close parentheses, this is the method that you're going to use, or this is just the written or the arrangement that you're going to use if you are going to include their names or the author in the paragraph or in your text. Okay? So we have Harvard style two-part process. The citation in the text and the reference list. So it is also the same with the upper style. Meron din silang in-text citation and the reference list. Okay? The citation in the text, this is a brief indication of the source within the text of your work immediately following the use of the source, whether quoted or summarized. So ito yung gagamitin. Yes, everything is from ano naman. Okay? Mm. While in the reference list, a complete list of all the cited references used in your work with full bibliographic details to allow the reader to follow up this reference and find the original text. So everything that you have cited, that you used in your author, in your paper, it must be included in the list after your paper, at the end of your paper. Kasi, doon talaga makikita yung complete information ng author. Sa in-text citation kasi, ang nandun lang is the name of the author and the date of the publication. But in the reference list, all the information there from the name of the author, the date, the title of their paper, the where it was published, diba? And when it was published. Kung saan na-publish siya, and meron pa mga pages. So, nandun na lahat sa reference list. And if you are going to scroll or you need to uh, you need to you need to reread again that the paper that you use if you can find it in the reference list. Sometimes there are GUI in their area in their reference list or a web address where you can um, easily identify and look again the paper. You can read it and review there. Maybe you can find some more important information about your related topic. So these are the tips on citing where page numbers are not present. So in Harvard referencing style, kahit walang page number, okay lang din. And this is what you're going to do. If a citation does not have page numbers, then you should use the number of the paragraph if available. Example given, we have climate change can refer to local, regional, and global changes in weather. So Met Office 2013 para that to that. So this means the Met Office it is it's not an author but it's a publisher. Yes, hindi siya author. So this published on 2013, it may be an article or a journal. So it was published 2013 and paragraph 2. So ibig sabihin, this climate change can refer to local, regional, and global changes in weather. This sentence, you can find it in paragraph 2. The pages is not, um, if the pages is not given, kung hindi niyo siya makita. Okay? And the next is, if the paragraph number is not available, then you may direct the reader to a specific section of the item, and then the number of the paragraph, example given, we have here using the factor command, can, diba? So as we can see, we cannot find the paragraph numbers. Hindi natin masasabi, it's really paragraph 2. So, pwede niyo siyang i-direct yung mga reader natin to a specific section of the item. So, dito sa given example niya, we have Go Bats 2015 and okay. So, Go Bats 2015 generating factors. So, ito yung ano, this is the item, section of the item kung saan nakikita yung sentence na to. So, paragraph 2 pa din. Okay? So, if the name of the section is long, you may use the first word of the section in quotation mark. Example given, the value of numbers needs to be random, and so on. So we have here the author, GoBats 2015, um, random numbers and generating section. So hindi na siya, ano, um, pwede nyo gamitin lang yung first few words. So ito, random generating section. So, may ano pa yan, there are still this, meron pang mga, mm, it has still, um, may ano pa talaga siya. Mahaba pa yan, it's still long. So, you can just include the few numbers or few words that might be included in the quotation. So, don't forget the quotation mark here. Yeah. So if the name of the section is long, you may use the first few words of the section and quotation mark. Example given, the value of number needs to be random. So this sentence is generated from the Go Bats, the author, 2015. So as you can see, hindi na talaga siya nilagay yung yung full name ng section kung saan nyo makikita. So this only few words is included in this section, which is random numbers and generating. So it's another tip. So now let's go to tips for citing. Number one, we have, if the author's name appear in the text as part of the body of the assignment, then the year will follow in round brackets. The example given according to Smith 2017. So for example, you're going to say that the weather phenomenon nowadays is very common, like rain and sun. So, in you are going to include it in the appears in the text as part of the body, as part of your work. So you can say that according to Smith 2017, close and open parenthesis, the weather nowadays is um is very irregular since we are now in climate change. So you can do that. And this is the same with the apostyle ha. So in American Psychological Association, this is also the pattern or this is also what that you have to follow. So okay, okay. Next we have number two, if the author's name does not appear in the body of the text. So kung hindi naman siya kasali, if it's not included in the sentence na hindi na according to Smith 2017, kung hindi naman ganun yung formation niyo ng paragraph, then the name and the date should follow in brackets. So example given, the terminology has been called into question when it was discovered, so on and so forth. So the sentence, then you can put it at the end of the sentence, like to open parenthesis, Smith, comma, and 2017. This is the same with the apostyle. So ganito din yung gagawin. Okay? And the abbreviation IBID and IDIM should not be used within the Harvard referencing system. Pag sinasabi natin IBID, is IBIDIM. or same is what uh same as the okay. Next we have the abbreviations I did and I them should not be used with the Harvard referencing system. So kung sinasabi natin ay bed, it is abbreviation of ibidem, which means that in the same place, a reference to a single work cited in the note immediately preceding. And the same yun yung idem. So ito din yung mga used in citations to indicate author or work that has just been mentioned. So sa um, hyperreferencing style, hindi na include yung ibed and idem. Okay? Next is if more than one of your citations has the name author and year of publication, then you should distinguish between them by using a lowercase letter following the year. And it was discussed, for example, was discovered that Smith 2017A. This was supported by Smith 2017B. So, ito yung gagawin if meron kayong more than one citations na same lang yung author. So, same lang yung author, din yung work nila is different, pero siya lang din yung writer ng dalawang um, work na yun which you use as a citation. So, you can say, you can include it Smith 2017A or Smith 2017B. But it's just okay kasi since 2017 is you can identify it in the referencing list. Doon mo makikita kung anong what is the title of that work kasi it is included in your citation, in your number, in your date of publication, in the reference list. That is why it's important that you have reference list at the end of your paperwork. See, this was reported by Sydney 2017B, and in the reference list also you can find this what is this work of Smith in 2017. So what is the title? Diba? So you can find it in the reference list. So this is what you're gonna do if there is a similar author but the different work that you have cited. Next is some authors have the same surname and works published in the same year. This is the case you use their initial to distinguish between them. Example, when looking at the average income, it was found that, and so on. So, here, open parenthesis, Williams, A, 2009. However, it was also discovered that Williams J, 2009. So, makikita nyo, we have the same surname and the year of publication, but their first name initial. So, this will distinguish them kung sino ba yung nagsulat niyan. Okay, however, it was also discovered that ganito pa din. See? You have tips number 6. In some instances, you may need to cite more than one piece of work for an idea. If this occurs, you should separate the references with a semicolon and cite them in chronological order. So this example given this point has been shown by numerous authors. So it is according to Jones 2014 and Smith 2017. So kung if um, there are different authors in one idea. So um, the arrangement that you have to do in the names of the authors in the index citation is their surname, date of publication, semicolon, ah, of course, open parenthesis, surname, date of publication, semicolon. Again, for the another author, Smith, 2017, and close parenthesis. So, kung kanina, if yung the same, lang siya, the same author but different work or idea. So, sabi lang natin doon, lagyan ng A or B dito sa date of publication. So, dito, this is, the case of this is, there are different authors but the same idea. So, you have to cite them in chronological order. Okay? So, J, Jones, and Smith. So, of course, mauna si Jones and Smith. So, it's, there's your name. When citing in text, include the name up to three authors. There are four or more authors. for the work you are citing, then use name of the first author followed by et al. So example given we have so this was shown to be the case when Taylor et al. 2017. This this as I mentioned kanina, this mm, style is used if this the authors are included in the text or the study shows. So this is used if it's not included in the text. No, this can be put at the end of the sentence. Okay, but in APA style, ganito din yung ginagawa nila. So, Taylor et al. Na din sila. Hindi nila i-include yung other, more than, ano, four or more authors. So, pag more than, if there are four or more authors for the work you're citing, then use the name of the first author lang. So, first author lang, then et al. Na din. So, in the newest edition of the APA style, after referencing guide, um, hindi na din nila i-include kasi on their last edition, 6th edition pala, included din yung tatlong author. For example, Taylor, then Taylor, ano ba, then Smith, then another author na naman, okay, and ganon. So, pero sa Harvard Referencing Style and the newest edition sa Apple Style, hindi na ni-include yung other authors. There are more than four authors. So, yung first author na lang, then et al. Okay? Okay, next, the steps for citing. We have for items where the author is a corporation. Cite the name of the corporation in full. Example given, bird watching in the woods. Okay, it's according to Woodland Trust 2016. This is the name of the corporation. So yung corporation yung nag-cite or nagbigay ng information na yan. So unless the organization is well known, so for given the governance of the network according to BBC 2017, since BBC is a very well-known corporation, then they don't have to spell out everything. But if the corporation is not so popular or it's not well known, then you have to write their full name. If a work is designated as anonymous or there is no author, use the title in italics in place of the work of the author. Example given, OED Online 2008. So this has to be in italic form in place of the author 2008 since we don't know the author, it is anonymous. If no date can be found, then you would state that there is no date. Example given, we have the ancient tags indicated the use of so on. Okay? So since hindi natin malaman kung anong date siya na-publish, then you just write here 12 and space and no date. So ganun lang yan. Okay? Those are the tips that we have to remember in citing using the Harvard referencing style. Now let's go with the creating a reference list. Okay? So if you have distinguished between authors in your citation, you should use the same letter in your reference list to distinguish them. So kanina nga, sa example natin, yung Smith 2017B will be Smith S, yung initial ng kanyang surname, 2017B, ganun pa din. Hindi nawawala yung B. So that ma-identify natin kung ano yung title ng other work. Okay? Ng same author, same version na publish, for different work siya. Different, idea. So, ganito pa rin yung pagkakalagay sa name nila. Smith, S, 2017B. And ganito rin ginagamit sa APA style. A reference with no author will appear before a reference with two or more authors. With one author rather. The first author has the same last name, example given, well, Smith S. 2017 will appear before Smith S. on June 8, 2017. So, kasi pag makikita natin sa reference list, there are, there are works that was written by two or more authors, pero yung yung one author nila is ang dami ng referencing na nangyayari. So, na nakalagay is marami siyang work. Smith S. 2017B, pag meron na namang Smith S. and Jones A. 2017. Sinasabi dito na kung siya lang, ikaw lang mag-isa, if you are the only one who wrote that work, so ikaw yung mauuna over your other work na may kasama ka. So, if there are two or more authors and the first author has the same last name, so would appear this like this. Multiple references by the same author or creator are listed in chronological order. So, ganun pa din, chronological order pa din yung gagamitin. So, corporation are listed using the first proper noun of their name. So, ito, give an example, Real Academy of Arts, then the. Okay? So, kung ano yung proper noun na corporations, yan yung nilalagay. Hmm. There are two or three authors use and between the names rather than and. So, for example, Rachel Smith S and Jones A, 2017. Two or more authors yan. So, ito yung ginagawa. Pero, in the APA style, ang nangyayari is sa reference list nila, ito Smith, S, Tuldok, then ano na naman, and Jones A 2017. Ganun pa din. Ang, dito yung N na to, okay. Reference with four or more authors, included only the first author followed by et al. Written in italics. So, dito, sa reference list, kung ikaw, you have there are four or more authors in that reference. So, yung ilalagay mo lang is yung first author followed by et al. Written in italics. Pero kung tatlo lang din naman yung author, for example, Smith, comma, Jones, comma, and, for example, we have, um, depth, gamma, and depth. So, pwede nating um, pwede siyang malagay if tatlo lang sila. So, ma-indicate doon lahat ng mga authors. But if there are four authors na, so yung ma-include na lang is yung first author na lang ng pangalan. So, for example, Smith et al. 2019. So, yun na lang yung malalagay. But in referencing list sa APA style, lahat included up to 20 authors. That is their you can cite or you can include up to 20 authors in the referencing. So, ganon. And author or editor names should be given in the following format. So, when including author, surname nila, initials, example, Smith F. G. So, ganun din yung nangyayari sa APA style. So, the edition of a book is not included for the first edition, only for later editions. For example given, second EDN, third EDN, etc. Edition is abbreviated to EDN to distinguish it from the abbreviation for editor. So sometimes, maraming edition na yung na-publish na book with that word or that idea. So, mayroong first edition, second edition. Pero, pag first edition pa lang, hindi na siya nilalagyan ng first edition kasi it is already understandable that it's the first edition since wala namang nakalagay na second or third. And yung abbreviation ng edition pala is EDN. Okay? So, certain types of materials such as encyclopedias or dictionaries may not have one person or persons as the main author or editor. So, we know that maraming ang authors ng mga encyclopedias or dictionaries. So, you can reference them by the title in italics first. Example given, kung sa OED online mo siya, ito OED Online 2017 Oxford University Press. Okay, available from So, included din yung URL niya. So, dapat naka-italic siya. Ito, naka-italic dapat. References for work designated as anonymous or works without an author or editor should be given with the title in italics instead followed by the date. So, example given, we have A Woman in Berlin. Since we don't know who wrote that, di ba hindi natin alam kung ano yung pangalan niya talaga. So, ang nilalagay is A Woman in Berlin, 2017, translated by Philip Boehm, London, Garago. So, Ito, dapat naka-italic din ito. A woman in Berlin, dapat naka-italic siya. Okay? So we have another. If the item is widely known by or was originally issued under a title different from that of the preferred source, the alternative may also be given in brackets if necessary. So if you example, Brown, J, dot 2018, dapat may ano pa din dito, tuldok, securing a sustainable future for higher education, an independent review of higher education funding and student finance, the Brown Report. So, that is kung ano na siya, it's known na, diba? So, pwede nyo din ilagay ito, lagyan ng bracket. Okay, next we have if there is more than one place publication, only include the most local one in the reference. So, i-input mo lang yung the most local one kung merong more than one place in publication. But in the AP style, so sa APA format or sa American Psychological Association, hindi na include or hindi na included yung location of the publication. So, hindi na siya included. That is one of the differences. Okay, so each reference should end in a full stop unless it's a URL or DOI. So, full stop, you mentioned pause or there's a space. Diba? So, yung DOI natin or the digital object identifier, so pwede siyang, it can be a link, part of the link. So, hindi dapat siya wala dapat siyang space or wala siyang full stop. Kasi, pwedeng, it can affect the full link of a certain work. So, dapat wala siyang full stop. Okay, so a DOI should be written with the prefix https doi.org followed by the DOI number. Adding the prefix makes it into a URL which will link directly to the item, whereas the DOI number on its own will only open a browser search for the DOI and doesn't link directly to the item. For example, given we have the https doi.org, so ito na yun. This is also similar with the APA format. In the newest edition, may nilalagay lang sa DOI or digital object identifier nila is hindi na kasali itong HTTPS. Pero sa latest edition nila, kasali na yung HTTPS. So that if you're a viewer or reader, you can directly click this link and see the work. So always write UI in lowercase in your reference. So dapat naka-small, lang talaga siya, small letter yung DOI. So include the state abbreviation for items published in the United States if it's not obvious where the location is. So you don't need to include NY after New York, but you would include the state abbreviation in Cambridge, MA. Harvard University Press, as there is also Cambridge in the UK. So ito lang yun. Okay? So there are there are other differences between the APB and hybrid style. But for an MBA student, for the MPA and the MBA, masteral graduate student, graduate school, should always follow the Harvard differential style since this is the um, standard requirement in the University of Mindanao. And I guess that's all my report. Thank you for listening and for viewing my video.